Hey guys, welcome back. So before we begin this video, just a bit of a disclaimer. I'm fully aware that I don't need to make this video, and I know that I don't need to explain myself to anyone. And normally I wouldn't do that. In everyday life, I wouldn't feel the need. But because I'm on YouTube and I've been doing it for a long time, you've seen me make a lot of decisions that you may question. And as a viewer of YouTube, you only ever get to see one side of that person or people that you're watching. You never get to see the full picture. You only get to see what's presented on camera. So, of course, you may have watched me for a while and you may look at my collecting history and not understand what the hell was going on and why I flip-flopped and I bought stuff, sold stuff, bought stuff back, sold it again, bought it again, sold it again. Been very indecisive. But I'm going to explain it today the best I can. And I'm not going to get too personal. But I'm just going to try and give you an idea of what happened, why I did what I did, and let you know what's going to happen going forward. So in 2013, I had a bit of a mental health breakdown, and it's something I've been dealing with ever since, and it's been very tough. You know, I've been working on it. I've been doing a lot of different things to try and mitigate the panic attacks, which are the hardest things to get past, and that's still something I work on today. But they had an immediate effect on my life in general, as well as my hobbies and just everything really. And so in 2013, I know full well that what I should have done was took a break from YouTube. I should just put a pause on it, pause the retro collecting, and just fix myself. Just, you know, worked on myself and tried to get myself better. But I thought at the time that the idea would be to go on, carry on with YouTube, because at least it gives me a social outlet. And, you know, I've got friends I've met through YouTube, quite a lot actually, and a couple of people who are very close to me, who I talk to on a regular basis. And they really helped me through what I was going through at the time. So it felt like a good idea because it was, you know, a creative outlet, it was a social outlet as well, to talk to people in the comments and interact and have fun with, and to distract me from what was really going on, which of course is not always a great thing as well, because you don't want to really be too distracted, because you need to focus on what's actually happening and, you know, figure out a way of fixing those issues if you can, or at least mitigating those issues. So it probably wasn't the right thing to do, to carry on. I should have just taken a break and concentrated on myself, and, you know, spent time with family and friends and just took a pause on it. But me being me, I'm very strong-headed, and I don't just give up. I will keep trying. No matter how many times I fall, I will keep getting back up and keep trying to do better. And that's really what happened. I mean, I continued to buy games and collect properly. I started collecting in 2003, 2004. I started YouTube in 2009, had a breakdown in 2013, and then I continued to collect until 2016, where I put a video up, which a lot of people have seen now. And it just got to the point where I just couldn't take it any longer. It got on ridiculous. I was just in a horrible cycle of buying a lot of stuff, running out of money, selling it to get the money back, and then trying to buy it all again and not ruin my money, but I'd always end up running out of money, and then I'd sell it all and buy it, and I made a lot of mistakes doing that. And I do regret all of that, but, you know, it's in the past. There's no point looking back and having regrets, because, you know, you do what you do in the moment, and if you make a stupid decision, you just live and learn by it. It's not always easy to do, and I didn't learn for a long time. It took me a lot of years to really get to grips with what I did. And so in 2017, I decided to jump back into collecting. Big mistake, I shouldn't have done that. I wasn't ready. And I know I wasn't ready, but at the time I was feeling pretty confident, and I was like, no, I can do this. I can cope with this. And then in 2018, I couldn't. And I think it was around about March 2018, I just started to come out of it again. And then probably like 4 months or so later on, I got back into it. And it wasn't really collecting then. From 2018 to 2020, it was just buying games and making YouTube videos, and not really having any sense of direction with YouTube. It was really just trying to hold on to the YouTube channel and to talk to people and to communicate and make friends and all the usual stuff, you know, talk to fellow retro gamers and gamers in general and retro collectors. But it was just, I wasn't feeling it as much, and it was my own fault, because as I say, I should have taken a break in 2013, sorted everything out, and then come back when I was ready. And I wasn't ready in 2017 and 2018 to do the collecting. And come 2020, obviously the pandemic hit, which made my mental health a lot worse. That did not help at all. So I was pretty down in 2020, and I was getting some help with my mental health, my panic attacks, and depression and anxiety. And I made strong decisions in 2020, 2021. I cut off my social media. I got rid of Twitter, Facebook and Instagram because it was really negative and really unhealthy for me. And I then in 2021 decided that the few consoles and games, I didn't have a lot, but the stuff that I had left, the consoles, games, the CRT TV, just sell it all, because I'll be honest with you, in 2021 I was having a lot of restless nights. I wasn't sleeping well because I was just constantly thinking about this bloody hobby 24/7, and I was constantly trying to figure out in my mind how I can make this hobby work and keep it and maintain it, which is ridiculous because it's just a hobby and it's just a bit of fun, and at the end of the day, if you're not having fun while you're doing it, and also if you sell everything, you can always buy it back. It's just stuff, you know. It might seem irrational, and it is irrational. I'm fully aware that I made a lot of bad decisions, a lot of mistakes, but it is what it is, you know. I'm at a point now in 2022 even, where I'm feeling a lot more clear about it. I mean, in 2021 when I sold everything, immediately, once I'd gotten rid of it, all the stress and the pressure I put on myself had gone. It just immediately evaporated, and I felt so much better for doing that. There was still a lot of other things aside from the retro collecting that I had to deal with, and I still am. But it was just one of those big weights off my mind that really needed to be taken care of, and I'm glad I did it. But then, once I'd done that, I thought, well, what do I do with YouTube now? Not in terms of making videos, but in terms of watching other collectors and other retro gamers. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, or if it's going to have a negative effect. And I continued at first to watch everybody as per usual and to comment, but I found that it was just affecting my mental health really badly, because it was the usual thing where I'm just influenced too much. I'd pick up videos and be like instantly like picking up my phone, going to eBay. Smartphones are the worst thing in the world when you've got mental health, because they're sitting, well, I say when you've got mental health, when you've got depression, anxiety, panic attacks, any of that kind of thing, anything that's affecting your mental health, a smartphone is not good for it, because it's an addictive little bit of kit that's sitting there 24/7 saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. And yeah, it's so easy to just pick it up and to just jump on eBay and start looking at games and be like, why did I do that? And I got to a point where I was really strong and I was able to just go, okay, I'm searching for it, I don't want any of this, and I just shut the app down. Now in the past that wouldn't have happened, I'd have bought something, but I was getting much better at handling the eBay side of things. And so I was watching the videos and it was impacting me too much, and I went, no, that's it. So I cut right back on the amount of retro videos I was watching, and I tried to find other content like travel videos, politics, music, documentaries, history, just anything really that wasn't retro related. And it did be great. It really helped me to just regain some focus and to really give me time to think about what I actually want to do with retro. Do I want to play games only? Do I want to collect? Where do I feel like I fit now? And for a long time in 2021, the idea was that once I'd sold everything, I was thoroughly pissed off with collecting at that point. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest, it really got me down so much. And I was like, what am I doing here? This is ridiculous. You have to make a decision. You're either in it or you're out. There ain't no middle ground here, Pete. You've got to make a decision. So as I said, I did. I sold everything. And my thought process was that once I've done that, I will just have my PS4. I will have my Wii at the back there for Super Nintendo and Mega Drive ROMs and whatever ROMs I want to put on there. I can play them on the flat screen. And I was going to get an Evercade, and I've got the Evercade and the handheld and the Versus. That would give me a nice, easy way to play retro games that isn't going to cost a fortune. And yes, it does have a collectible element to it, but it doesn't affect me because, weirdly, the numbers on the box, I don't care, because there's a lot of collections I'm not interested in playing, so I just don't buy them. Now that, if you've watched me for a long time, is quite good actually, because you know that I would normally just go, they're only cheap, I'll just buy the full set like most people have done with the Evercade. But it doesn't interest me to do that, and I'm not going to do it. So I was going to have the PS4, Wii in the back for some ROMs, Evercade for the cool carts and the interesting games I've never played or heard of. And then of course arcade was the big thing with Evercade for me. That's what I really wanted it for, which are absolutely fantastic by the way. And then it was just after that it would be the Amico, and I was happy with that. I thought, yeah, if I got a PS4, I've got relatively modern games. As you know, PS5 and that ain't much of a leap up. PS4 is more than adequate for what I need for those kind of story-driven games. I got the Evercade for the old retro stuff, and then I've got Amico for retro reimagined and retro inspired titles, as well as party games and family fun. And I thought that's going to be plenty for me, that's enough. And of course, after a while, I started to get back into YouTube viewing with the retro guys. and I started to watch all my favourites again. I was getting a bit more into the comment, and I was getting back into it. And it didn't, weirdly, well, not weirdly, I mean, it's a positive thing. I feel that because I took that time to really focus on myself and to do the work, it really helped. Because when I started watching retro guys again, I was watching pickup videos and it wasn't having the same effect that it used to have on me. And I wasn't just constantly searching eBay trying to buy stuff that I don't need, or get involved in consoles that I'm not interested in collecting. They're consoles that I think are cool. There are a lot I can justify any console on the planet because there's always a game or 10 games or 50 games that I want to play on that machine and own. But I know the systems that I truly want to collect for, and so it made it a lot easier to not get influenced immediately. So I carried on watching those guys, the usual people I'm subscribed to, found some new people in America as well I've started watching, became good friends with a lot of people in America and Canada due to the Amico, which was fantastic. And the more time I had to think about it, I thought, well, what do I do here? I still love retro games. I will always love them. I'm a gamer at heart. I've been playing games since the 80s. So I've got a lot of history, a lot of nostalgia, and I really enjoy playing these games, and I like owning them. And when I really thought about it, I thought, well, if I ever do it, how am I going to do it? And the thing that turned it was like the PS4, because the PS4 being the way it is, the games aren't really on the disc. You know, most of the data you have to download and it takes forever. And if you don't have an external hard drive, because the hard drives are only 1 terabyte on my Pro, so you know I have to keep deleting games to put new games on. And eventually, in the future, when those servers are down, that data is not going to be available. So you're going to have to make sure that you've got an external hard drive and you've got all of that patch data all downloaded, because it might make it that some games don't even play without the patches. So I thought that's really shit, and I thought, no, this is why I collect. This is not only for the fun of it and playing the games that I love and enjoying the hobby, but it's also the preservation, the fact that I can buy old consoles and all these games, they're all on the disc, they're all on the cartridge. You don't have to worry about the games working, they just work. You put them in and you play your game. And it's something I've really missed. And so at the beginning of this year, I decided to start collecting for the original Xbox. Now, it's a nice, simple, easy system to collect for. I've said in my pickup videos, all I'm doing is buying them in the best condition I can find with good quality, unscratched discs. And therefore it costs a little bit more money. And that helps me mentally to maintain that collection and not get into a position where I have to sell it all again. Because I'm not going out to CEX and buying a big bag of games and doing pickup videos and going, hey guys, check this out, hey. Because that is not going to help me at all. That's just going to send me into a spiral. With the Xbox being the way I'm doing it, I can take it very slowly, I can enjoy the hobby, and I'm not going to be spending a lot of money, and so I can control my spare cash in a better way. I am also going to buy PS3 games. Now, I know I had put a video out at the beginning of the year, and the 360 was done back, and I said to you guys, 360 is going, and I couldn't sell it. I tried to sell it for ages. Nobody wanted that 360. It just would not sell, no matter what I did. And so I decided to keep it, because I thought in the end I just gave up and went, it just isn't worth the hassle of waiting, and you know, for the money I'd get, well, might as well just keep the machine. And so I made a couple of videos where I started to pick up Xbox 360 games, and everything I said in that Xbox 360 memory video was absolutely true. As much as I love both consoles, 360 and PS3, the 360 does hold the majority of the memories for me. But I'm really a PS3 guy at heart, if I'm totally honest. I love that console. It's fantastic. I love the Blu-ray cases, I love the XMB, I love the controller. It's a great system, but both consoles are fantastic. But then the Xbox started to get on my tits and all. I couldn't get signed into Live. It was just a hit and miss every time I turned it on. It wouldn't accept my account, and I was just like, I've had enough of this. So I moved the 360 on, and I've got a PS3 on the way, and I will be picking up PS3 games from CEX. Now, as I've just said about Xbox, I'm not going to be doing big bags of games. Hooray! But PS3 are a reasonable price range at the moment, and with the way those games are being story driven, I can buy a stack like I've got there, which I'll be doing a pickup video for eventually, and I can just play through them and then buy some more. I don't feel the need to just constantly buy them, which is good. I'm just basically trying to say I'm feeling a lot calmer and a lot better about the whole thing right now. I've gone through a lot the last 8 years, and it's been really difficult. And I still struggle with my mental health. I'm still trying to find solutions, and I'm going to be doing whatever I can to try and control this and to get better and healthier, because that's really what's important. But I just wanted to make this video. I know I didn't need to make it, but I feel like if you've been watching me for a while, you may have got disillusioned and stopped watching my videos, which I completely understand. Or you may just have felt like you can't watch him anymore because I can't watch him do this to himself. Or you may have just got totally pissed off and said, this guy's mad, what's wrong with him? He's so indecisive, I'm not watching this crap anymore. And I completely understand all of those viewpoints. But I just wanted to let everyone know what's happening really and give you a bit of perspective, because we don't do that on YouTube. I've done a couple of videos in the past where I've talked about mental health and the things I've been going through, but not really give you a proper perspective as to what's happened. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, if you can say enjoy, and I hope it let you know where I stand. But my plan is to get back into collecting, but it's going to be a very slow process. It's going to be over the next few years. I have plans. I know the systems I want to collect for. I'm not going to rush into anything. I'm going to build this Xbox collection slowly. Once that's done, then I'll move on to something else. The PS3 is a side thing. I mean, I know it is technically retro because it's 2 generations away now, but to me, retro is like, probably, yeah, I'd say PS2, Xbox and GameCube backwards is proper retro. But, the 360 came out in 2005, so hey. But yeah, I class the Xbox stuff as more of the retro collecting than the PS3. The PS3 still feels to me quite modern, but there you go. Anyway, guys, I'm looking forward to reading your thoughts down below. And if you're having any issues, I hope you get the help that you need. And, just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't have to be dark all the time. You can get through it. Thanks, guys.